We ready? All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We have a couple of council members here. I believe we have Councilmember Denise Gray right back here. And do we have, there you are, Councilmember Tana Fogel is with us. I don't think we have any other council members, so thank you for being here. Today I'm joined by my One Lexington team, Director Divine Karama, Community Outreach Coordinator Larry Johnson, and Crisis Response Coordinator Kenneth Payne. We are also joined by Melissa Tibbs from Community Action Council and the founder and executive director of Operation Making a Change, Gio Gibson. And we want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Today we're here to announce that 15 grassroots organizations active in violence prevention and intervention are receiving grants from One Lexington. Representatives of several of these organizations are with us today, and we want to offer our thanks and congratulations to each one. We know that work to make our community safer is not something the city can do alone. We rely on our community partners. One Lexington works each and every day to keep our young people safe. The One Lexington Gun Violence Prevention Grant Program provides local nonprofit organizations with funding and resources to address gun violence among our youth and young adult population. Nonprofit organizations have been active in our community for decades, working to reduce gun violence among our young people. These organizations are involved in programming that is directly focused on our young people, including mentoring, art, coaching, education, wellness, counseling, and much, much more. Now, for the third year in a row, our government is providing 15 nonprofit organizations with funding so they can continue to uplift our young people. These organizations submitted applications for funding through the Community Action Council, which vetted each proposal. And I want to thank Sharon Price, who's here, Director at the Community Action Council. I also want to thank Melissa and everyone else who assisted in this effort. Now, first, I want us to hear from One Lexington Director Divine Karama. Divine, thank you very much for your leadership. The podium is all yours. Where'd you go?
Thank you, Mayor.
This has to go up a little.
Just a little bit. Thank you. First, come on, Terry, Julius. I see you back there. Come on. Come on, bro. First and foremost, just want to acknowledge those that we've lost to gun violence, acknowledge and speak to those who've been affected by gun violence. I believe just tonight our team will be going to a neighborhood recently impacted by a shooting, and so we're going to be going out there just kind of touching base and going door to door and checking on folks, and just to be reminded that everything we do is informed by how those affected are feeling, what they've experienced, and we can't forget that. We're going to talk a lot about some good stuff today, but it is informed by some pretty tragic things that have happened to our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, and so first we want to acknowledge them. Secondly, thank you, Mayor Gordon, just for the opportunity to lead One Lexington. Even though I don't adhere to the dress code every day, I do not take my job lightly. I am blessed to be in this position, and hopefully it has been to a great service to our city and community. Next, I want to acknowledge Community Action Council. They have been our fiscal agent for this grant process. It's been kind of cool. 10 years ago, I used to be a youth service coordinator at Community Action. That was my first job of its kind. That was my first job kind of coming out of a grassroots kind of street outreach background. They took a chance on me, and I truly appreciate it. So for a decade later, to still be working with Community Action is kind of cool. Over those years, I built a really good personal and professional relationship with Melissa, and so for us to be able to work with her team on this grant has been amazing. But most importantly about that partnership, and what I want the community to understand, is that Community Action has helped us to be as fair and equitable as possible with this grant process. Larry has been in the streets since the 90s doing this work. Kenneth has been a social worker for 10 years. I have a pretty long background working in the community, and a lot of the community partners that we work with, the three of us probably know those who are going to be applying for these grants. And we didn't want it to look like we were just picking our friends or picking people that we knew and had relationships with. And so CAC kind of being that buffer has been great. They have utilized our strategic plan, and they have done a great job in selecting each year community partners that can use this funding to build their own personal capacity in order to continue to do this work. As we, and I'll find wood. Where's Kenneth's forehead? Knock on some wood. But whatever, man. But we've seen, obviously 2022 was a rough year for our city. We reached an all-time high in shootings and homicides, but last year we saw a stiff decline, almost 50%, first time in almost 6 years that we saw below 100 shootings. And then this year, we've seen that progress continue. Now I think we're only at 6 homicides, almost halfway through the year. And that can be attributed, I believe, to this kind of cross-sector, all hands, all hearts on approach, or all hearts on deck approach. It's been truly great to watch. But as we transition as a city from being in crisis to consequential, right, to conscientious, how are we focusing on the long term, the root causes of gun violence, so that we're not back here 5, 10, 20 years from now? And so I say that to say that the recipients of this grant are going to look different now that we're not in the crisis that we were in 2 years ago. And that's a beautiful thing, because now we can see some of the innovative ideas that create opportunities for young people that will keep them out of the cycle of violence. And so it's been cool to see, the early grantees a couple years ago be organizations that were front lines, focused on intervention once gun violence had already happened. But now, 2 years later, we're seeing more innovative programs where they're trying to get ahead of young people getting in that cycle. And finally, I'll close with this, and not to steal too much of Kenneth's thunder. He's going to be coming up in a little bit and talking about just the vast variety of different programs that are going to get a grant this year. But I think something that is important to understand: a lot of the organizations that receive our grant are grassroots, maybe historically don't get a lot of the larger grants. And so another part of this process, which we won't talk too much about today, but goes on behind the scenes, is how do we build the capacity of these grassroots organizations so that they can thrive, so that they can be sustainable beyond just this one Lex grant? How can we help them build their 501c3? Many of the organizations that applied had to use a fiscal sponsor because they didn't know how to get their 501c3. City government should be helping them figure that out. Our job is not to solve gun violence as government. Our job is to remove disparities or address disparities, remove barriers so that the community can solve this issue. And so we have free trainings for our community partners. We're going to help them to build their board, and just so that they continue to do the work that they're doing on a very, very high level. And so today is a great day. This money is going exactly where it needs to go, and that's back into the community with these organizations who are on the front lines doing the work. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Divine. Now, also from my office, let's hear from Kenneth Payne. Kenneth is boots on the ground for One Lexington, ready to respond in a time of need. And Kenny is going to tell us how these grants support One Lexington initiatives. Kenneth?
Thank you, Mayor. Grateful to see everybody out here and all these awesome partners that are up here that have received our grant. I'm so grateful that One Lexington, we have worked to develop an ecosystem that can just branch across this community and this city to be helpful to the needs that are in this community. And I just want to say something I just thought about earlier today. I believe a community's ability to affect its people holistically must be found in its efforts to meet the variety of needs in the community. And these great recipients, some who you see standing behind me, share a common purpose, but have diverse skill sets in doing so. So I truly believe that it takes a holistic mindset so that we can meet with diverse skill sets, meet the needs within our community. So as has already been mentioned, we have many different community organizations that have received the grants that are doing amazing work. And I just highlighted a few things that some of these organizations are doing. So I'm just read a couple. We have one that is working and has anti-violence workshops to help people kind of address some needs, mental health needs, and just financial literacy classes. Also have organizations that engage youth in paid internship through their Bluegrass Urban Farm Friends. Another organization, one is standing up here, has the Joven Noble and Girasol Rights to Passage program, which is a 12-week circle keeper session, and we was able to be a part of one of the I guess is where they received the Rights to Passage event. And it was just a beautiful thing to see these young men that came through this program of 12 weeks and learn about not only their culture, but also how they can be citizens and people of change in their community. We have the Kentucky Center for Grieving Children, where they do grief-related programs. Have others that do workshops on conflict resolution and peer mediation and training. Have some that do trust-based relational intervention and positive youth development methodologies to promote discipline and respect on and off the field. That's the Lexington Raven football program. Also have those that provide crisis care, case management, and support to individuals and family members that are at high risk. Other programs that do drumming and intense workshops, and it allows these kids to help express their emotions in a positive way. A lot of the kids that these organizations help and work with, they don't understand and realize how to express some of these emotions in a positive way. So these things like that, like the drumming, it helps them to process that and express it in a positive sense. We have NAMI, who they have this Ending the Silence, which helps youth learn warning signs of mental health conditions and steps to take if you have a loved one. Oftentimes you may not be dealing with something, but you may have a loved one, and so being able to realize how you can identify that and be able to give them help is very important. We have OMAC here, which I ain't gonna say too much. You'll hear from Mr. Gio a little later on. He can tell you about the amazing work that he does through his program. And we have Resolve Fitness, who they have a planning a lifestyle fair where they will help people learn from others in the fitness industry and just open it up. One thing we do here at One Lexington, especially through our summer youth program, is show kids other opportunities, other things out there that they may not be aware of, and it just opens up their mind to other things that they can go into. So, like if you heard, and there's many others here that I haven't read, but a lot of great, different, diverse organizations that are doing the work holistically to have a huge impact on our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. As you can tell, there's a lot of work going on with this group, and I want to tell you I appreciate your hard work. Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Gio Gibson, who's here to speak on behalf of the grant recipients. Gio has been doing this kind of work for a long time, and we're really thrilled that he's here. Thank you, Gio.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before I start, I just want to invite my young people up here with me. Reason being is because we can't make change without our young people at the table. They have to be involved in the conversations and the initiatives that we are putting together in our communities. We need our young people. We need to train them up. We need to continue to prepare them for the future. So when we sit down, they can start leading the way. So let's give a round for our young people right here, y'all. By the grace of God, I stand here before you just very grateful for the mayor and her office and One Lexington. Definitely grateful for the office that chose us to get these funds to further our operations to help our youth. Gio Gibson is my name, and people always ask me, why I'm so motivated about the work that I do. Well, it all stems from my own personal experiences. So, I didn't always have the best upbringing and exposed to a lot of the things that we are combating against today. And so the work that you see that Operation Making a Change is doing stems from my own personal experiences. Now, Operation Making a Change is an initiative that is right here in Lexington, Kentucky, started with a lot of great partners here. So definitely want to thank all the partners that gave this organization an opportunity and a chance to be what it is today. What we do is we go into our public schools, Fayette County, and we work with our kids and build our relationships with them and educate and teach them the importance of being successful and staying success-minded in the right way. So we're building these relationships at an elementary age, and we get to see these kids go off to college. They return back home. They may seek a job with us. They can get letters of recommendations. Not only that, but we've also opened the door for kids that are going through the court system. So Operation Making a Change is also an alternative to incarceration because, going through, we can't lock all the problems up, number one. Number two, I think our kids just need people that care, and they just need a chance like somebody gave me. I do stand here just to let you know that this is constantly an uphill battle. This is nothing easy to do, but with funding and support from the community, we are able to be in a position where we are helping these kids face whatever they're going through, whether there's hunger, gun violence, homelessness, substance abuse, you name it. We're educating our kids about these things and the importance of, just maybe finding another outlet. So although, the mind will drift off on its own and do whatever it want to do, we're just basically seed planting. And what I realize that it does take all of us to step up because change starts with self. These young people that you see with me, They get a chance to work with us every year. We have a different group through the Partners for Youth program. So they're a part of the Summer Youth Job Training Program, where they will learn how to network with our local government, our Fayette County Public Schools, and most important, within our communities. And I think that's very important, is to continue to build our relationships with the community, especially through our youth, because, like I said, you know, they have access to their friends, and the ripple effect of that can be very great. With those funds that we are receiving from One Lexington, we were able to feed, hundreds of kids. We were able to do a lot of after-school initiatives as far as in our parks, and creating a violence prevention music, videos and stuff like that, and also just being able to give stipends to our young kids, teaching them that they can also earn money the right way. So those things it may sound like those things are small things, but it's the smallest things that makes the biggest impact. And what you see standing behind me, this is not everybody. Everybody couldn't be here. The building can't even hold it. So I'm very thankful for the ones that already created the work for us to do, that passed the baton to us, that left their marks in this world. And so I'm just standing here with you, just picking up where they left off, our great leaders, and definitely the ones that have passed and perished through gun violence and substance abuse. Definitely they didn't leave here in vain, because we're going to continue to make sure that it doesn't happen to the next human being. So again, I just want to thank everybody for supporting this cause. We will continue to do our part, and we will continue to give our 100% every day towards making sure that our community is safe, and just so we can enjoy ourselves. So again, thank you again, One Lexington, and God bless.
You know, as I listen to Gio speak, he really represents what we talk about all the time, that we're in the business of lifting up people, right? It's about people. This is what it's all about. And so thank you very much for those remarks. While these organizations take different approaches to reaching our youth, the message is the same. Be safe, make good choices, enjoy a bright future ahead of you. So I want to thank everyone for being here today, and we're going to do a ceremonial check presentation, right? And so we want everybody up here to step forward and be in the picture. We're going to do it, maybe we can do it kind of in front of the podium. All right, come on, Dan.
People with no hairline in the back.
That's not true.
Making it.
I know, I'm like,
Thank you very much. Does the media have any questions? Any questions? All right, thank you very much.